Okay, let's have a look at the sum. So first of all, when you're doing geometry, use highlighters. If you don't have highlighters, ask for a highlighter because it will help you to see things easier. So first of all, we've got this one and this one is parallel. So we can use the corresponding angles, the alternate angles, and the co-interior angles, you know, the ones with the fun. And then, so I'm going to draw them here. Okay, then we can also, we've got a whole bunch of straight lines, so we can also use those ones, that one's equal to that one, or we can do angles on a straight line. So that one is plus this one is equal to 180 degrees. That y of mine looks dreadful. Let me just do that again. There. So that one there plus this one is 180 degrees. Okay, we've also got a triangle there. Let's make our triangle green. So there we've got triangle. And what we know about this triangle is that this line there and this line there is equal, which means it's an isosceles triangle. And an isosceles triangle means that the base angles are equal. All right, so in a sum like this, it doesn't matter where you start. You can start with the first thing that you see. If you get stuck and you're like, oh, I don't see anything, then just pick one. Let's say we start with F. Can we see any F things here? So with an F, remember we said we've got one angle inside and one the parallel lines and one outside. But all of these angles that I've got here, they're all on the inside. So I'm not going to be able to use my F. All right, then do we see a U? So this could be a U, but there's that one in the middle. And so any U's that we've got is cut up by another angle, so we're not going to use that one. So let's look for N's. So let me just pick another color here so that I can easily erase it again. So let's look for N's. That one, and that one. That's an N. See there? So let's use that. So there we've got X equals Y. But that is not going to help us to get the degrees. So we need to start with something that is going to get us the degrees. So basically we need to figure out what is X. Okay, so let's look at our X. The only degrees we've got is this pink thing here. So what we can do with that one, remember whenever we're trying to work something out, we need an equation. So we need something equals something. And with N's, things are just equal. So it's not going to be able to get us a number. So we can't use this one because it's just going to get us more variables, like an A or a B. It's not going to get us degrees. This one is just stuff is equal, so it's not going to get us another degrees. This one is going to get us a degrees because it has 180 degrees in it. So let's look at this one. So if we're looking at a straight line, remember, if you're looking for angles on a straight line, you're looking for something that makes a half circle. So our half circle one is going to be like that, but there isn't a degrees there, or an X, or anything, so it's not going to help us. So we need to find something else. So the only one that's left that we haven't crossed out yet, so we said we're not going to use that one, we're not going to use that, we're not going to use that. So the only thing that's left is this one. So in your exam, write down, like I did here, the fun angles, draw your triangles, everything that you've learned for geometry, write it down. And then look by process of elimination. See, can I use that? Can I use that? Can I use that? To go faster, instead of going through everything, if you've just got x's, we're looking for something with a degrees. And the things that's going to get us degrees is going to be these ones. That one is going to give us degrees because it's 180 degrees if we add them together. This one's going to get us a degrees because it's 180 degrees if it makes a half circle on a straight line. This one's not going to give us degrees, but this one is. All the angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So there we've got degrees. So now we know what we need to do here is start with that and just want to add this triangle here, 180 degrees. So we actually need the A in order to figure out how many degrees there are. So let's do that one first. So A, let me just get that small letter. A equals x plus 20. So basically this one here equals this one here. So the reason for that, because remember you have to write a reason. If you don't get the mark. So the reason for that is isosceles triangle. And we don't have to write out isosceles because, I mean, who can spell that, really? You're welcome to use abbreviations. And you're also just welcome to draw a triangle. So it's an isosceles triangle. And that is our reason. So now we still don't have degrees. But we said that all the angles inside a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So the x plus 2, 20, is one angle of our triangle. So basically we're going to add up this one, that's an angle of the triangle, that one, which is the angle of the triangle, and that one. And we said that A is equal to that, so everything we have is x's. So we don't want an equation where some things are not x's. Well, not the same variable. We need the same variable everywhere, otherwise that's not going to work out. Okay, so it's x plus 20, and then our other angle is also x plus 20 because it's isosceles. And then our third one is x. And all of these ones together is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, I don't have space to write my reason, so I'm just going to go down, but you can write your reasons right next to it. So the reason here is angles of a triangle. So you can just draw the triangle again. Angles of a triangle. Okay, and now we just need to solve our equation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to keep all the x's on the side. So let me just pick a different color. There's an x, there's an x, there's an x. And the 20 and the 20 we're going to throw over to the other side. All right, so let's write that down. Let's just first, I just want to keep deleting things so that it's nice and clear. Okay, so then our next step in solving this equation, we're going to add all the x's together. So there's 3 x's, not 33, 3 x's. And on the other side, we've got the 180 degrees. And we threw over the 20. So it becomes minus. But we also threw over another 20. Okay, now we don't need reasons anymore because we're just doing calculations. So here we've got 3x equals, and 180 minus 20 is 160, minus another 20 is 140. And then we have to divide by 3 because we've got a 3x and we don't want a 3x. We just want the x by itself. So we're going to say 3 equals, and then 140 divided by 3. Apologies for giving you a fraction, but I want you to get used to fractions and not get a heart attack every time you see something that looks funny. Okay, so our angle is going to be, so you can just do that on your calculator, 46,66. And remember, we always round off to 2 decimal places, so it's 67 degrees. So now we've got an x. Awesome. All right, let's write that down. I'm going to write it here at the top. X equals 46 point, now, whew, my goodness. So I'm just going to type it. So I'm just going to write it here so that I can erase that and we've got more space to write, because the keyboard here is taking up half the screen. Okay, so we've got x equals 46.67. Okay. Let's just erase that. Oh, it doesn't want to erase text. Okay, fine. Now the next thing, so we've got our a. So we worked out the x, right? But we actually don't have the a yet. Because remember, that's what we said with the a. A equals x plus 20. So now we can take it further and say our a is actually equal to, what was the x? The x was 46.67. That's what we just worked out. Plus 20. So our a is going to be equal to a equals, and you can also just do that on your calculator. So it's 66.67. So there we've got the a and the x. So now let's see about the b. So if you're looking at b, so b is that one there. Okay, so let's look. Can we use our f? Now we said we're not going to use f at all. We're not going to use u at all either because there's no u in this picture. But we can use an n. So with our n, we've got it like that there. So with that n, we can work out the the b. Because a and b are the same because they are alternating angles. So here I'm going to write a equals b. And my reason is alternating angles, and you have to also say the parallel lines because AB is parallel to DE. So that's my reason. But we actually have the degrees for that. So we can say that B, small letter b, equals 66.67 degrees. So now we've got our x, we've got our a, and we've got our b. For the y, we're also going to use this n because it's right there, and we've got, so it's going to be equal to the x. You see that? So let's get rid of some of these things. So our x is 46.67. So our y is going to be exactly the same. All right. And our reason for that is also alternating angles. 4, 6. So I'm going to write it here by the x because why not? Because it's the same. So y equals x, and your reason is going to be alternating angles, and you have to say that AB is parallel to DE, otherwise you don't get the marks. Okay, I don't quite have space for that now, so I'm just going to go like this and then say that y is equal to 46.67. Cool. Now we've pretty much got everything except for the z, which I scribbled over so much that you can barely see there is a z anymore. There's our z. So now we've used our parallel lines. So we can, with these things, there's usually a couple of different ways that you can do it. So for this z, we can either use the n again, but just that line, and that line. See, there's an n, which means that the z here, let's just make that, that z is going to be equal to x plus 20. The other way that we could work it out is to use this one, angles on a straight line, because that's a straight line, and the y, which we've already worked out, the a, which we've already worked out, and the z that we need is equal to 180 degrees, because it makes a half circle on a straight line. So that's the one that I want to use now, just because I want you to see how I do it. So I'm going to say, you know what, let me just quickly erase that there so we've got some space. All right, so I'm going to say y plus a plus z, those are the ones inside the half circle, equals 180 degrees. Why? We need a reason, because it's angles on a straight line. And now we can just fill in our variables, our numbers that we've already worked out. 46.67, that was the y, plus the a was 66.67, plus the z is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, now we want to get the z all by itself, so we're going to take the numbers and throw it over to the other side, as we always do. So we're going to have z equals 180 degrees minus 46.67 minus 66.67. Okay, I am just quickly going to work that out on my calculator. 180 degrees minus 46.67 minus 66.67 equals, so our z is equal to 66.67. All of them 6 sevens. All right, so I hope my video with my scribbling on a tiny cell phone screen actually helped. So what I just want to reiterate, so say again to be clear, is when you're looking for these things, start by something that's going to get you a degree. Draw on your test paper, draw all your options. So write down fun, write down the X and the Y for these ones, angles on a straight line and vertically opposite, and draw the triangles. Those two are equal, so those two are equal. 180 degrees in a triangle. And the other one for the triangle, if all of the angles are the same, the sides, then all of the angles is 60 degrees. So write them all down. And then when you're looking for stuff, start by the one that's got a number in it. And then see which one can you use that also has 180 degree in it, so that you've just got numbers. And then from there, you can go, great, now I've got a number. So how can I jump from this number to that one number? How can I jump from this number to that number? And cross them out if you see I can't use that one, I can't use that one. Then it's easier for you to see what you can use and how to use them.